What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today, I wanted to do a video about a new product on BitUnix specifically. I'm fairly certain other exchanges have it as well. I'm also not being paid by BitUnix, but if you've watched more of my videos, you know that BitUnix is one of my more favorite ones, favorite exchanges I use. And recently, they came out with a new product, and I like it, and that's what I'm going to talk about. They call it buy low, sell high, which is what we all want to do. But it is basically it's options trading, basically covered calls on crypto. A covered call is basically you posting your shares or your crypto up for sale, um, and the broker or exchange in this case rewards you with a small fee for doing so. So if it doesn't end up selling, you're still paid that certain amount of fee. Or if it does sell, it sells with at a certain specific price you want it to sell, want to sell it for or buy it for. Um, you can buy low or sell high that way. So that in essence rewards you for basically doing the trade you already wanted to do. It still works similar to like a limit order, so you don't end up overpaying on fees uh, or missing out. Unless, of course, the price doesn't move to a certain point. But if it doesn't, you're still paid that small amount of fee. So even if you're planning to use it, like me, on funds I'm just trying to keep on the side, and I'm not really hoping on the trade itself to trigger, you're still making a little bit of extra funds on it. So basically, it lets you buy low automatically, it lets you sell high automatically. You earn fees just for trying to close that deal or just posting that deal. It's also not scary leveraged products, not very high risk. The biggest risk you run basically is that it either sells, so you get your money back, or if it doesn't sell and you get a small fee. Um, so you could basically, let's say Bitcoin is at 65K, you put your trade at 60K. If it drops, it ends up selling, or you end up buying, and you end up with more Bitcoin, which you maybe you want to do, or maybe you don't want to do. uh, if not, you still get the fees. So it basically, as I said, it lets you, it enables you to use idle cash you have on the side or not using. And it eliminates FOMO buying, so you don't buy a higher price or lower price because you're working similarly to limit orders. Uh, and it's, well, it's not 100% automated, but it is a lot of it's automated. It's automated to a point, so it's not 100%. You still have some manual control over it, but it is automated, and it takes away the emotion of it. And if you've watched any of my live streams, you know I talk about this quite a bit, because I think taking out the emotion and keeping your DCA strategy, your dollar cost averaging strategy, into this really helps you do this. I'm of course going to run through posting one of these through this video. Uh, yeah, let's just get into it. Um, I'll just post an example. Let's do it. All right. So as I said, I'm going to run through a trade on BitUnix in this case. So if you want to follow along, I have a link to BitUnix in the description below. As the banner is saying as well, I have some free deposit bonuses. Um, if not, I'm sure there's another exchange which features a similar product. I think it's fairly new, at least on BitUnix it is. So I'm just going to run through it. But let's say I'm just grabbing my trading view chart with a possible prediction I have. I think we'll hit this price and we'll bounce back down. Let's say I want to buy Bitcoin at a lower price than it is right now, because I'm thinking it will bounce back up. So let's keep that in mind. Bitcoin's at 106. I want to wait for a pullback before I get back in and buy higher. So we go to BitUnix, we go to the spot market. I already was on the spot market, but let's say we go to the spot market, and then there is a new section added: zero fee, guaranteed return, buy low, sell high. So we click that. We can either buy low, select the expected target price. So if we want to buy low, we set a price, just like a limit order where we want to buy. We want to post the amount we want to buy. So for ease of use, I'm just going to use $100. I'm going to post a trade for $100. Let's call it a small DCA amount. We'll put in $100. There'll be an expiry date, so we can, some of them will be longer, some will be shorter. It depends. The ROI on it also shifts accordingly. So if it's up to you really, if you want to post an option trade which stays open longer, or if you want to rinse repeat this on a very short term. I believe the shortest term is around 4 hours. So you could set yourself an alert or your timer or whatever. It also gives you a push notification if and when the trade hits, or when it doesn't, and you just get paid out the fee. So if the price at expiry is higher than the target price, you get the corresponding yield of USDT. In this case, because it's Bitcoin, if it does hit, you get the amount of Bitcoin you were planning to buy. So it's pretty much a win-win situation, especially if you're aiming to move money into Bitcoin anyway. If not, you can always put the sell high order afterwards. Because you can also, once let's say your Bitcoin buy low hits, and you want to get rid of that Bitcoin similarly at a later point or at a higher price point, you can just put a sell high order in as well. And if it doesn't hit, you still get that fee. So you can benefit on both sides of the coin. If the price at expiry is lower than the target price, you get the corresponding yield of BTC. So if it does go below that, not even if it just hits your price, if it goes lower, you get it at that lower price. So especially it's a win-win really, and especially for investors like me, like doing the DCA thing, slow and steady, having cash on the side. This is a way to make some extra cash on it. So let's say we want to put that buy low order in. Bitcoin's at 106 right now. So let's say, right, so here we are again. For some reason, my browser was bugging, so it didn't want to work along with us, but here we are. All right, we want to buy Bitcoin cheap because I want more Bitcoin, but I don't want to overpay for it, or I just want to keep my money on the side before we see a bigger dip. But worst case scenario, we end up with Bitcoin. So we put in 100 USDT. We receive 100.007 USDT. Now, of course, this yield is quite low. But let's see. We can shift that. So let's say we select this one. It has an expiry date of 12 hours. Now that's 100.3. Now it does not seem like a lot, but if we put this on multiple orders and on both sides of the coin, we can rinse and repeat this over and over and over, and it can generate quite a bit of return, especially on a relatively short term. So we put the target price, we put the subscription amount, and basically we have our expiration date. If it doesn't hit, keep our USDT, we get our trading fee. We get our 100.329 USDT, or we get the amount of Bitcoin that we want. All right, we hit confirm. We post that trade. We hit confirm. So now our trade is posted. Now we can also go for lower prices. There is loads and loads of options on this. Obviously, the yield will be a bit lower, or the waiting times, expiry dates will be later. But that is all in the game. It depends on your own strategy, on your own technical analysis, on what you think will happen. But the yield is on claims where the times are shorter, where it's more likely to hit the price. Obviously, the APR will be higher because less people will be posting their trades for that long, thinking it will be more likely to hit. But in this case, I'm not worried about that because I want to hold more Bitcoin in the end. So if it does hit, I'll just post a sell high order afterwards. And if that doesn't hit, I still get fees on it. So it's really a win-win. It there's very little risk. It's in the spot market. It's not leveraged. Um, as I've said, it's a very easy way to create some extra funds. It's also an easy way to learn more about trading in itself. It teaches you to put uh, correct buy orders, sell orders, steer away from all the market orders. Yeah, and I think it's just a very fun product. All right, I wanted to do this short video about it. I think it's a very good way to to both teach yourself and create some extra income. Now, I promised myself I would talk about this, but I also created a Twitter page. It is linked in the description below as well. I posted this exact example on it earlier today. The link to BitUnix is also on there. Ah, it looks like it's not showing it completely, but the link is on there. And basically the entire process is laid out there as well. I'm hoping to use my Twitter more and more. If you would like to see something on it, please let me know. If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one, guys.